Well, hello, my soul friends. It's Victoria on the Soul Nurturer channel, and I'm going to talk about the new moon in Cancer as we slide into the tail end of Cancerian season. How has it been feeling for you? Before I go into that, I want to just welcome you to the channel. I have noticed that people who are drawn to this channel are people on a spiritual journey, love to do soul work, love to do dream work, understand that we're in a transformational evolutionary cycle, and that's why we're here. And also, I get a lot of people who resonate with the archetype of the wounded healer, which I identify with and talk about a lot on this channel. So I'd like to know what called you to this channel. Were you just stopping by and then clicked on the video? Have you watched other videos? Have you subscribed yet? And I would be grateful if you did. Please do let me know where you're viewing from in the comments. And anything that I say that connects with you or presents you with something that's helpful, that's my goal. Please do comment and like and share if you feel called to. I like to remind people you can take a little clip of the video. I think you have to be a subscriber to YouTube. I mean, pay for your subscription. But it's a really cool feature. I love having YouTube. I think it's $14 a month, and I can clip a video and share it with people. And you can do that with my videos or any other videos that you're drawn to. So, okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please watch all the way through to the end because I have a special little opportunity for you to work with me. Okay? All right. So, what are we doing here? The tail end of Cancer season. How have you been feeling? What is this, in the Northern Hemisphere? Summer felt like for you. If you watch my channel, you know, and if you know me, you know that I have a tendency to talk really fast, leave out words, mix concepts. I get like quick information. I have Mercury conjunct my sun and Sun Neptune. So I hope you're able to pick up what I'm putting down and maybe even do a little soul translating to understand. No, I'm going to slow down and just be with you all, okay? And I hope that you can just take this time for you. Go get a cup of tea, a summer beverage, your beverage of choice, and take some time for you. That's the whole point of my channel, truly. I know a lot of people like to hear me talk about the astrological weather. I get it. I love it. It's a wonderful navigational tool I think that Creator gives to us to give us a heads up, kind of, first of all, I love to look at soul charts. I call them soul charts because an astrology chart is a blueprint of our soul. So I love to help people connect to their soul, reclaim their soul potential, ignite those possibilities and potential and purpose. So that's what these new moon and full moon videos are about. And it's just my little way of sharing some astrological weather with you with the time that I have to do so. I'd love to do a daily, hey, the moon's in Gemini. Hey, I don't have that kind of time right now. So this is my offering, and I hope it supports you. The best way to know about how this is affecting you is to have a look at your soul chart with me or someone else who knows how to do that. Because then you'll know exactly where the new moon is, what house in your chart is being activated. So this, I tell you, this new moon feels more like a full moon to me, or also because it's not quite an eclipse, but it is aspecting the nodes, which is what creates an eclipse. The terminology is that it's that Pluto is bending the nodes. I had to look that up. I'm like, what does that mean, bending the nodes? I tell you, I learn something new every day about this wonderful method of knowing our soul and navigating our walk here on Earth. And I've been aware of astrology since I was really little, like 9, but technically 15 or so when I started practicing looking at charts. Okay, so this So our full moon that we just had, the theme of that, remember, every lunation cycle is thematic, but everything is thematic. I always say everything is purposeful. Your chart exactly as it is, purposeful. You exactly as you are, purposeful, but we want to reclaim that soul potential and let you live a more authentic, true soul nature life, right? And that's what a soul chart does. And so there's no good or bad. I guess that's what I want to say. There's no wrong or right, or, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. It's like, okay, right? Thunderstorms. It's a little sunny. I think the full moon in Capricorn we just had, for me, it was pretty mellow. And that's what I had said it would feel like. For me, it felt pretty mellow. How did it feel for you? I know in general, full moons can feel really activating. Um, but it was an invitation. And watch that video, by the way, the full moon in Capricorn, because I think it still is important with this new moon, especially because this new moon is opposite Pluto and Capricorn. So it's kind of, we had the full moon in Capricorn was the sun in Cancer opposite Capricorn. I never know how much detail to share. I know I get a lot of requests. This is what happens. People say, can you talk more about the specifics? Can you talk less about astrology and the specifics and just tell me what might happen? Well, I'm doing my best, but I'll tell you what, we have a nodal shift on this new moon. So if you're like me and you're a recovering people pleaser, a recovering codependent, you're and me, we are all going to be shifting out of those patterns and making it more about our needs, our care. And I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. So I say that to say, I can't please you all. I know that. And I'm learning that and I'm accepting that. So hopefully you'll get something. Okay. So Cancer season, what has it felt like for you? You know, the archetype of Cancer is associated with the fourth house in a chart. It's a cardinal sign. It's a water sign. Its symbol is the crab. And its archetypal expression is like the mother, the nurturer, the caretaker. It's connected to the roots in our lives, in our home, in our hearth. And it's the way we nourish ourselves and our bodies and others. And it's a way that we find security in caretaking and being cared for. So this new moon, which we've already been feeling the energy of Cancer since June 21st, summer solstice is when the sun goes into Cancer, and it'll remain until July 22nd. So we have just a little tail end of the party for my Cancer friends. You having a good time out there, my Cancer friends? My best friend is a July 4th Cancer. I love her so much. And I have a North Node in Cancer. That's why I call myself the soul nurturer. I really resonate with the archetype of the Cancer, of the mother, of the, even though I don't have kids, of the one who sees potential and wants to nurture it, right? So this season that we're just moving through, and I think this new moon really just amplifies it. How have you been taking care of yourself? Have you learned to reparent yourself? This is what I talked about in the last video. Have you actualized a healthy masculine father, you know, not gender specific, but that archetype, the protector, the assertive part of you? Have you actualized a healthy mother image, nurturer, caretaker of yourself, right? You know, I always say parents do the best they can, and we just say, okay, thank you, I'll take it from here. At some point in your life, that is what you need to do. What you needed when you were a child, you still need as an adult to actualize your soul potential. Who are you waiting for? Go look in the mirror. It's you. It's you. So if you didn't have good, gosh, it's so hot, and it's, you know, and I meant to grab my fan, but I was afraid it would be too loud. So I'm just going to sweat it out. It's summer, baby. And I didn't pour myself. I usually do a little refreshing drink, but I just have water. So cheers. So it has been about taking personal responsibility for our lives. And this is really lit up with this new moon. I keep wanting to say full moon. So the Pluto bending the nodes, which that means that they're at a 90-degree right angle, right? Pluto is to the nodes. So this is contributing to what's going to be happening, a grand cross, which is a significant energy. It's a lot. So that moon opposite Pluto, though, this is the last time that the moon in Cancer will be opposite Pluto, because Pluto, as you know, did tip into Aquarius. Now it's retrograde in Capricorn. So we're reviewing a lot of the things that when Pluto went into Capricorn from 2008 till now, how's your foundation? Where are your structures not supporting you? And this is the individual and collective transit, right? So we're seeing, and by the way, it is still the US's Pluto return. Pluto, it takes 248 years to go through the zodiac, to orbit the sun. And so we'll never have this moment again, right? So what does Pluto do? Pluto doesn't let us get away with anything. It's going to, is it dredge up, like bring up from deep down in the mud of our being, of our lives, and the shadow. This is shadow work time, friends. And we've been witnessing, haven't we, seeing the collective shadow in the world, and especially in the US, and especially in our government and our systems. Shadow, for those of you who don't know, shadow is like the things that we push down, hide. Individually, our shadow is grown from where we get a sense that we're doing something wrong, and maybe we are, or we feel shamed about something, and that could be, a really good thing. Like you're I used to get like, you're too happy all the time. Okay, don't be so happy. Push my happiness down. Or don't joke so much. Push my joking down. These could be good characteristics too. It's not all bad. Shadow just means the things that we deny and suppress. And so individually, this Pluto opposite the moon, remember, is our subconscious. It's our emotional nature. And it's feeling, how we feel, our emotions. So Pluto can be bringing a lot of, this could be, if I'm going to put it in weather terms, an emotional storm. Why do we have storms? To clear what's in the way of our way, right? But also Pluto, this new moon feels like, yes, it's a new moon where we set intentions and we get to start a new beginning, right? And because also the nodes are shifting, the nodes are moving in to Aries and Libra out of Taurus and Scorpio. Oh, there's a lot to cover. How do I do this? So that the nodes moving in, the north node moving into Aries feels like a huge, this is a new moon, super amplified, a call, an invitation to do your soul work, do your shadow work. No longer deny the things you need to take care of and look at and take responsibility for. With Pluto and Capricorn, where have you just sloughed off your responsibility and hoped somebody else would do it? And, we're pretty wired that way because, in our formative years, we're waiting for someone to meet our needs. We are dependent on that. But when we become adults, we have to remember we are the authority of our lives. We are the ones that have to look at our lives with willingness, gentleness, acceptance, and compassion, but in a way to say, okay, my life, my choices, my tracks in my world, the wake behind me that I'm not going to get past unless I turn and look at it and deal with it. That is, I think, the call, taking that level of responsibility. And so that's the masculine energy, taking responsibility. So then you can start again and nurture the potential from where you are to where you want to go, but with integrity. Okay. So let's see, I did make a few notes here. This year, 2023, have you noticed? Significantly different than 2022, significantly, lots of shifts, lots of changes. And I wonder, what are you noticing in your world, in your life? What's happening with you? And also, are you a Cancer or Cancer moon or Cancer rising? And or where is the new moon happening in your chart? So I practice with Placidus, which is, it's exact degrees where you could have a split house and not a whole sign house where it's just, if you're a Capricorn rising like I am, and this is why I practice Placidus, because I'm a 26-degree Capricorn rising, that would mean my whole house, my whole first house would be Capricorn when there's only a few degrees of Capricorn with Placidus. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, I know it's easier to practice whole sign, because if I was doing that as an astrologer right now, I would just say, I could tell you exactly, just go to this house. If you're a Capricorn rising, or you're Cancer rising, it's your first house. So if you want exactitude, or more specific and more, I think, detailed and more unique to you, then you need to look at your chart first of all, find where this is activated, not only the new moon, but all the other, my goodness, so much. So getting back to, see how fast I talk, getting back to all the changes we've experienced so far. Saturn is now in Pisces. To me, Saturn in Pisces, which, by the way, we're going to have Mars now in Virgo in opposition to that, which I think is a good thing. It's another push to, people think of Saturn as, hard, and it is, and it can be the taskmaster. It is. Why? Saturn wants to prepare us for where we're going. And the sign it's in is the way it does that. So Saturn in Pisces is helping us dissolve old habits, old patterns, old ways of being that are in the way of where we're going. And Saturn in Pisces for me is ultimate visioning time. I talk about soul visioning all the time. I love to teach it. I often do workshops on it. Your soul vision connected to your destiny. What are you here to do? Right? Who are you here to be? What are you here to contribute? So Saturn in Pisces, I think this is a good time to vision. I always say that, but it's true right now. And in particular, because, and I don't know exactly, I think it's in a year or two. I can't remember. I looked at it and thought, that's cool. Saturn in Pisces is going to be in conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. Neptune, the ultimate soul glance of what possibilities are available for us in the world, conjuncting Saturn, bring it to earth, manifest it, make it happen. So I feel, as always, everything here, even in this new moon, is preparing us for our highest possibilities. But you can't not, you can't skip steps. You have to pause. And if you don't deal with the stuff you're not dealing with, it's going to show up down the road in somebody else. Like, say you have relationship issues. And by the way, Venus is going retrograde too. So I'll use that as an example. I love to talk about relationships. It's another thing I love to do is help my clients create a healthy relationship with self and soul so they can have a healthy relationship with a partner, and helping them understand it's not finding the perfect person to have a great relationship. It's becoming the best you that will call in your divinely aligned soulmate. Okay. All right. So I was saying the other thing, Jupiter is in Taurus. Pluto, I said this already, went into Aquarius for a little bit, now back in Capricorn. Pluto is all about death and rebirth and shadow work, and taking that deep dive to look at our root system. What is my foundation? What is in the shadow? What do I need to acknowledge? And a way to look for shadow is, what do you have shame about? What would you not want anyone to know about you? And that's more of the, the way we think about shadow, the negative shadow, if you will. I don't think it's negative. It's just, it's different than the bright shadow, as Jung would call it. The bright shadow, who do you admire? Who are you envious of? Who would you like, oh, I'd love to do that. That's soul calling you back to that suppressed potential. Okay, I'm already at 20 minutes. I want to wrap up. So much here though. But I did want to talk about the nodes. Maybe I'll do a separate video on this because it's really big. Happens every 19 months. So the nodes are shifting out of Taurus, where the focus has been towards grounding, rooting, getting practical and what's important to us, connecting to earth, finding out what we value, what's important to us. And the South Node in Cancer and Scorpio was exposing our collective shadows. So now in the North Node, the node of destiny, what we're moving towards, what is the soul mission towards individually and collectively, and especially where it is in your chart, what house, in Aries, which is about trailblazing a path forward for your potential, for you. The axis of Aries and Libra is me and we. So it is more of a focus on me. So it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to say, I could do better with my life. It's not selfish to say, gosh, I have some regrets, I need to reset. No, it is honoring who you were created to be. Okay, so that's going to be the energy coming up starting on the new moon. So that's why I said it's like a new moon, super activated, super like on steroids, right? New moons. What do you intend for the next lunation cycle? What do you intend for your life? Setting intention, visioning for that, and then who do you need to become to fulfill that? See, this isn't magic, folks. It's not like, oh, okay, all this is going to happen naturally. It is going to assist you. I like to think of the planets moving through the signs, and like especially through the lunation cycle, which I share with you. These are the players, or the facilitators is better, like the sun and the moon and Pluto and all that is activated on a lunation cycle. In this particular situation, new moon in Cancer, they are the facilitators. Ooh, that was just 22. I love it. The facilitators of your evolution, the facilitators of your possibilities. And here's like, oh gosh, okay. I really do feel Creator, God, however you connect, is rooting for you, wants you to do your best, wants you to experience all that's possible for your life. But we get in the way, or our conditioning gets in the way. So conditioning, what we're programmed from 0 to 7, if that is blocking what you're desiring, then you need to work with someone like me. I'm a hypnotherapist, a transformational hypnotherapist, a soul guide, a soul navigator, and I'm also a spiritual director. I went through a training at Hayden, a 2-year program studying spiritual direction with a Jungian reference point. So I have so many tools to share with you. I love, I know a lot about astrology. I know a ton more about transformation. I know some about the Enneagram. I have lots of tools to support you. And this is what this feels like. Again, every new moon, begin again. Where are you off track with your potential? Where do you feel stuck? What are you not willing? What have you not been willing to look at? And where have you not said, I'll take care of me. I'll nourish and nurture my potential instead of waiting for someone to do that or waiting for the perfect time. I noticed, I'm taking my own advice here. That's a whole part of my teaching to others. Take our own soul medicine. And I've noticed how hard it's been for me to turn this around, to offer to myself what I offer to others. This last week, I jam-packed my schedule with, all these personal self-care items that I've been putting off. I called someone like a year ago to inquire about something I needed done. And I finally showed up in her office this week and I said, it took me a year. And I acknowledge that. So while we're still in the tail end of Cancer season, I encourage you, and maybe write this in the comments, what self-care and soul care commitment do you want to make to yourself? Do you want to change the way you eat? Do you want to start showing up for yourself by journaling? Do you want to do the thing you've been desiring to do, but you've been waiting for someone to go with you? You know what? You're an important person. Take yourself to the thing. You don't have to wait for someone to accompany you when you know how to connect with yourself and accompany yourself in your own life. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've worked with in the past that were just waiting for that something, especially a partner. I'm just waiting. If only I had. Well, the if onlys keep you stuck. I was stuck there for a long time. If only I had at least one solid parent who could help me navigate life. And then I realized that I had the ultimate care and protection, and that is my faith. I believe that I've been protected and provided for and loved, and I'm going to cry now. And I didn't always, and here's the thing I want to share with you that I realized in my own journey and working with clients for over 20 plus years, that when we're kids, however our parents show up for us, and they do the best they can, they are our first God. So if you had a parent who neglected you or even abandoned you, which was my experience, it takes a while to reclaim your faith, to trust that God will never abandon you or neglect you. If you're feeling neglected or abandoned, or things are not working the way that you want, and you're praying and nothing's happening, this is where I say, we have to get out of the way so Creator, the divine, the universe can meet us where we are and walk us towards our potential. But if you have a belief that was generated when you were a child that your God, your parent, wasn't available for you, so that meant something about you, like you're not good enough or you're not worthy, you need to clean that up. That's this new moon. Do that deeper dive. I can't tell you. I'm going to tell you. Why do I always say that? What is that saying? I can't tell you. Yes, I can, and I'm going to. Years ago, when I started going deeper into like a spiritual path with my clients, even before I became a spiritual director, I have Sun conjunct Neptune. I'm a spiritual teacher. And there would be times in session, it still happens, where a client is telling me their challenges and where they're stuck, and I'll start to cry. Okay, I cry easily, but not in session. I used to try to mask it, hide it. And then I realized those are not my tears. I'm in session, I'm open to what Creator has to say and what wants to come through for the person I'm supporting. And when those types of tears come, and they're very different than my own tears, it is as if, for me, that the one who created my client is weeping for them, because there's so much more potential and they're not accessing. So that's where I come in. I love to take that seat and say, I know the one who created you has something more for you. So let's do it, huh? Anyway, okay. Cancerian energy. And as we get closer to the Cancer moon, again, Pluto is going to, is associated with Scorpio. So it's going to deepen our emotions too. So pay attention also to your dreams. Always pay attention when there's intensity and we have more dreams, especially Pluto opposite the moon. It's going to stir up our subconscious material. Your dreams will show you your subconscious material, what you're believing about yourself, and then also the soul potential comes through dreams. I love doing dream work too, so that's something else we could do together. Okay, I think that's it. So before I wrap up, I have been offering and will continue to offer free 20-minute consultations where I just tell you, I ask what's going on with you. I think of it as the soul guide meeting you where you are. What's going on in your life and what do you want to create instead? So you tell me a little bit about that, and then I will assess what tools I have to meet you where you are, to take you where you want to go. And or I could briefly look at your chart. I'm going to continue to offer that until I think fall. I'm getting a lot of these, but I love it because they're becoming my clients, and I love that too. And I'm almost at the place where I have to pause taking in new clients because I'm getting pretty full, which is fantastic. It's not a bad problem to have. I love it. But I had so much joy today. I think I feel good about this new moon in Cancer, and I see it as such an opportunity to break through to a new path for you. But first, you have to look behind you to see what you're dragging in that big bag that Robert Bly called the bag of our shadow. Got to look in that bag, got to make a decision about the things you haven't dealt with, and I could help you with that. So it was placed on my heart today to say one person is going to get a full 1 hour session with me. So you're going to need to comment under this video and or send me an email and or go to my website and no, that won't work. Send me an email or comment under this video and send me an email at thesoulnurturer@gmail.com. You can visit my website to learn more about my work, victoriajazwick.com. Look at the testimonials. That'll tell you a lot. And my website's not even up to date. Those are not old, but I have a lot more new ones because I've been doing more of this, more of the astrology, more of the expanding with spiritual direction. So, if you need support, I'm available. If it's not me, reach somewhere else. We all have blind spots. We all need someone, especially a loving, supportive presence to reflect back to us what's possible. And there's so much more ahead for you. Thanks for being with me. I am always honored by anyone who takes even a minute to spend with me. But if you're with me for this entire time, I hope to bless you with a session. I'll choose the names, or I'll take the names, put it in a hat, and select one name. And I think do both. And now that I think about it, oh no, I can comment. If you comment, I'll just comment underneath. Please contact me. You'll know that you are the one that I selected or the divine selected, because it'll be random. And for those of you who don't get the 1 hour, you can still have a 20-minute. Okay? All right. Take good care of you. Just really pause and reflect on how far you've come. Ask yourself how you could do better in nurturing your soul and honoring your potential and really showing up for yourself in the way you needed someone to show up for you as a child. That's key. All right. Take good care. I'm so grateful, and I'm sending you so much love to support you on your journey of unfolding. See you next time. Bye.